Telstra is one of the largest telecom service providers in Australia. We have 3,000 employees from Infosys working for Telstra, and we manage 400 plus applications. We've started our Agile journey in 2011. We've been executing projects at various locations, some of the locations being Melbourne and Sydney in Australia, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chandigarh in India. Today, as I speak, we have around 66% of our projects being executed in Agile.
Is Agile only for geeks? Is it really tough to embrace Agile?
Agile is for everyone. Agile is more about team working together and communicating to achieve a common deliverable. Telstra Agile transformation journey started in 2011. We focused on three aspects: on people, process and tools. As part of people enablement, we got our team trained on Agile concepts. As well, we covered behavioral aspect, because Agile is not only about knowing the concept, it is more of your mindset change. As part of the process, we hired 3 senior Agile coaches who helped guided us as a team and Telstra together in evolving in this overall Agile journey. They brought in their inputs in terms of defining an estimation model, Agile maturity model, various aspects of Agile, which has helped in maturing over these years. As part of tools enablement, we got our teams trained, and then we even utilized few of the Infosys provided tools for having CI/CD setup. So these were the various aspects which we brought in, and to answer to how the Agile was adopted, we started with few small projects, went into large programs as well. Today in Telstra we have Agile presence being done for larger programs.
Is Agile only for smaller teams, or Agile can be used for huge projects where number of people in the teams are bigger?
In Telstra, we've been executing large programs in Agile using some of these frameworks like SAFe and some Scrum of Scrums. We've executed projects with a team size of 70 to 100 people as well. As I speak, today we are actually executing a large program for digital, where we are re-platforming their entire wholesale portal. So this is a large team being executed at various locations, and we have multiple Agile teams working on this. But typically one single Agile team is of a size 8, but it's multiple teams, and we use a Scrum of Scrum model and safe methodologies and frameworks basically to execute this project.
Is Agile only for web development, or we can use it for other development?
We have used Agile in delivering various kinds of projects, not only web, but we've used Agile in delivering legacy kind of projects, package implementation, re-engineering, migration. In fact, recently we've actually done a re-engineering project on mainframe successfully, which is a program that ran for around 6 to 8 months. So this was actually done totally on Agile. So it can be used for any kind of technology.
Is it that Agile projects can be executed with only co-located teams?
In Telstra, we have distributed team. We try limiting to 2 locations, but we have scenarios where team are located in more than 2 locations as well. Our collaboration tools enable team to bridge this gap. We have Link, which is used for point-to-point contact, federated link. We have Cisco WebEx, which is used for VC at team level meetings and conferencing.
Most of our Agile teams are distributed. We use various collaboration tools and technologies for communication. We use Link, federated link for point-to-point communication. We use Cisco WebEx for face-to-face VC. Here, one of the team members is participating in an Agile stand-up meeting. If you see, we have enabled each of the desktops with a webcam, and they have VoIP headsets to communicate, and it's a face-to-face VC where the stand-up is happening between various locations. An agile sprint meeting is happening with teams from various locations participating.
There's this doubt amongst people I've came to know. People talk that can we do everything agile, or can we also include some of the other software development lifecycle like a waterfall method and achieve our goal? Is it possible? Basically what I want to ask is can we work agile methodologies with some other methodologies as well?
From my experience, I don't think it's a good idea to use agile and waterfall together. Agile should be followed to the spirit of agile. However, it is very important to qualify a project whether it should be done on agile or not. It's not necessary that every project qualifies for an agile methodology. So in Telstra, what we do is as soon as we get the statement of work, we have a qualification criteria which is built into the SOW response, the statement of work response, where we actually evaluate each of that project to see whether it can be executed in agile or not. So that is how we pick for projects for agile. However, in some of the waterfall projects also, we did use some of the agile concepts like having an iterative development, doing stand-ups. So these are some of the best practices that we had picked up from agile, and we have used it in waterfall models.
So in agile, we have found this issue that there are different business teams and they're not comfortable spending a lot of time working in different time zones.
It is very important for business to spend time with the IT teams. In Telstra projects, most of the times the product owner is from Telstra business. So the product owner is involved during the backlog grooming, where he or she plays a key role in prioritizing the scope. And they also participate at the end of the sprint in the user demos, where we take the feedback directly from Telstra business. We schedule these meetings much early and secure their time. We have our Infosys leads sitting in Telstra offices. So during the sprint execution, the on-site leads discuss with Telstra business on the clarifications, and we use the emails as well for some of those clarifications. So we try to limit and optimally utilize the business team's time, but during this backlog grooming and the user demos, it's very, very important to get their time for the feedback and prioritization of the scope.
In Agile, we are having project budgeting. That's quite a challenge, as predictably challenge. I would like to know, as the scope is really not defined, how do you handle it in Telstra?
As we get the scope, the initial estimations are done using some of the proven methodologies like function points or SMC, or using historical data of similar projects. So this is to give Telstra a view of the overall budget so that they can secure those approvals for the budget. So once the project kickstarts during the execution, at each of the sprint level during the sprint planning, we use story point estimation to further estimate the project scope for that sprint. So that's how we manage.
There's this term ad hoc that has been continuously being coined with the Agile, and found that it's really difficult to view and control the progress of the team. In Telstra, how are you managing the team and watch the progress of it?
Agile is more on team working together and prioritizing and reprioritizing their work as per the business needs and priority. In Telstra context, before start of the iteration, backlog grooming is an activity which takes care of business prioritizing their requests, their activities, the feature that need to go. Then at start of the iteration, day one of the iteration, the planned work from the stories from the backlog are taken. These are estimated and these are planned for that particular iteration. As the iteration progresses, based on the progress on the planned work, planned stories, the backlogs keeps on, the stories can be pulled from the backlog and then worked out. As the iteration progresses, the progress on the iteration can be tracked using burn up, burned on charts, right? So this is how it is being tracked and controlled overall. IBM RTC is being used as an ALM tool for our DevOps. The RTC is set up based on the Scrum template, and to cater to the Kanban set of activities, and story is created as unplanned activity, and tasks are added under these activities, which are as and when it comes into ITAM, which is our tracking tool.
In my account, we are following each sprint with 2 weeks of duration, and once we get any user story, it is being tracked using this Jira. So Jira is a tool, it's a project management tool, we are using it to track the user stories. So here we have different statuses of the user stories. So here we are following a development dev done process, we call it as a dev done process. So the definition of the dev done process is, once the user story is completed, it has to be submitted to SVN or Git, and then it has to be reviewed by the peers using a Kobertura and Crucible tools. So here Crucible will help us to review the code and provide the comments, and whereas Kobertura is a tool, it gives the reports of the code coverage done using a unit test cases. And Bamboo is a continuous integration tool. So here we are eliminating the manual intervention using this Bamboo tool. Once the user story is committed to SVN or Git, it will pick up the code from the repository, and it will internally run unit test cases and functional test cases, and it will deploy the code to different QA, UAT or non-production environments. And we are also here using the QC and ITAM. QC is for bug tracking management tool, whereas it needs to be updated on the daily basis, and it will be reviewed by the iteration managers. And ITAM is a production incident tool, where it is closely monitored by the project manager.
For Telstra Digital, we have implemented DevOps model, where a single team works on both development and operation activities. This is done using the Kanban methodology. Scrum is being used for the planned activities, and Kanban is used for the unplanned activities. At the start of every iteration, from the backlog, the planned activities are picked and planned, and there is a certain effort that is blocked against planned activities, planned for these set of activities. There's around 40% of effort which gets blocked under unplanned activity, which will cater to your ad hoc request in terms of alarms, user queries, service requests, any high safes or any impact analysis that would require immediate attention. The priority of it is defined by business or the product owner. Basically, the model is flexible enough to have this 40% of effort being utilized as the iteration progresses under the planned activities, assuming that there are no priority unplanned activities that need to get catered to. We started with this model with the effort distribution of 60 and 40. We have matured enough now to have this optimized and have 80% blocked under unplanned, covered under planned activities, and 20 on the unplanned.